First contact, Earth's surprise visitor. The day Earth's trajectory changed forever began like any other at the International Space Station. Commander Sarah Chen was halfway through her morning routine when the proximity alarm blared, shattering the peaceful hum of machinery. Unidentified object approaching, collision course. The computer's monotone voice announced, jolting the crew into action. Sarah rushed to the observation window, her heart pounding. What she saw defied explanation. A sleek, silvery craft, unlike any human-made vessel, was decelerating rapidly as it approached the station. Its surface rippled like liquid metal, effortlessly absorbing the sun's glare. "Houston, are you seeing this?" Sarah's voice cracked as she radioed mission control. The response came back garbled, panic evident even through the static. "Not ours. No scheduled launches. Stay alert." As the alien craft drew nearer, Sarah made a decision that would be debated for years to come. Instead of initiating evasive maneuvers, she ordered the crew to hold position. Something in her gut told her this wasn't an attack, it was a greeting. The alien ship matched the station's orbit with impossible precision, coming to rest mere meters away. For several tense minutes, nothing happened. Then, a seam appeared in the craft's smooth hull, arising open to reveal a figure that was undeniably not human. The alien was tall and lithe, with iridescent skin that shifted colors like an opal. Its large, almond-shaped eyes blinked vertically, taking in the awe-struck human faces pressed against the station's windows. Most strikingly, a pair of translucent, butterfly-like wings folded neatly against its back. Sarah's training kicked in. She motioned to her second-in-command, Dr. Amit Patel, the station's xenobiologist. "Amit, you're with me. We're making history." Together, they made their way to the airlock, hearts racing. As they cycled through, Sarah couldn't help but marvel at the absurdity of the situation. First contact, and here she was in a standard-issue NASA jumpsuit, her hair a mess from interrupted sleep. The alien met them halfway, gliding effortlessly through the vacuum of space. Up close, Sarah could see intelligence burning in those strange eyes. The creature raised a six-fingered hand in what was unmistakably a gesture of peace. Sarah mirrored the motion, her voice steady as she spoke into her helmet mic. "I am Commander Sarah Chen of Earth. We welcome you in peace." For a moment, nothing happened. Then, a melodic voice resonated directly in Sarah's mind, bypassing her ears entirely. "Greetings, Sarah Chen of Earth. I am Zara Vex, emissary of the Galactic Confederation. We have long awaited this moment." Amit gasped audibly, his scientific mind racing with the implications. Telepathy, incredible. Zara Vex's head tilted, curiosity evident in the gesture. "Your thoughts are loud. Unfocused. Is this common among your species?" Sarah couldn't help but chuckle. "You could say that. We're a bit overwhelmed at the moment. You're the first extraterrestrial life we've ever encountered." The alien's skin rippled with hues of surprise. "Truly, but you've achieved spaceflight. Surely you've explored beyond your solar system." "We're still working on that part," Sarah admitted. "Our furthest probes have only just left the solar system. We've been wondering if we're alone out here for centuries." Zara Vex's wings fluttered, creating tiny eddies in the microgravity. "Fascinating. Your species has progressed remarkably quickly, given your isolation. The Confederation will be most interested in studying your development." Amit, ever the scientist, couldn't contain his excitement. "We'd be equally interested in learning about your species and the Confederation. The biological implications alone are staggering." Sarah nodded in agreement, her mind reeling with the possibilities. "Perhaps we could arrange some kind of exchange, a sharing of knowledge and culture." Zara Vex's skin shimmered with what Sarah interpreted as approval. "An excellent suggestion, Commander Chen. The Confederation has protocols for initiating relations with newly discovered spacefaring races. If you're amenable, I can begin the process immediately." As they floated there, human and alien, against the backdrop of Earth's blue marble, Sarah felt a profound sense of hope. Whatever challenges lay ahead, this moment marked the beginning of a new chapter for humanity. "We're more than amenable, Zarevex," Sarah said, her voice filled with determination. "We're ready." The next few hours passed in a whirlwind of activity. While Sarah coordinated with increasingly frantic officials back on Earth, Amit and the rest of the crew worked to accommodate their extraordinary guest aboard the station. Zarevex observed everything with keen interest, asking questions that ranged from the profound to the seemingly trivial. Why do humans wear clothes in space? How did they manage waste in microgravity? What was the purpose of the small plants growing in the station's hydroponic garden? Each answer seemed to fascinate the alien emissary, their skin shifting through a kaleidoscope of colors that Amit theorized corresponded to emotional states. As the initial shock wore off, Sarah found herself warming to Zarevek's presence. There was something undeniably charming about the alien's earnest curiosity, so similar to humanity's own drive to explore and understand. "I must admit," Zarevex communicated as they gathered in the station's common area, "your species has surprised us. We detected your radio signals centuries ago, but given the violent nature of much of your broadcasts, we hesitated to make contact." Sarah winced, all too aware of humanity's less flattering aspects. "We're not perfect, that's for sure, but we're trying to be better." Zarevex's skin rippled with what Sarah was beginning to recognize as amusement. "Perfection is overrated, Commander. It's your imperfections, your struggles, that make you interesting. The Confederation has been around for millennia, and sometimes we forget the value of a fresh perspective." As they continued to talk, the enormity of the situation began to sink in. This wasn't just first contact, it was an invitation to join a vast community of intelligent life spread across the galaxy. "There will be challenges ahead," Zarevex warned. "Many races in the Confederation are wary of newcomers, especially those with your species' colorful history." Sarah squared her shoulders, a determined glint in her eye. "We're used to challenges. Humanity has faced extinction-level events, wars, plagues, and our own self-destructive tendencies. But we're still here, still reaching for the stars. Whatever the Confederation throws at us, we'll face it head-on." Zarevex's wings fluttered in what seemed to be approval. "That spirit, Commander Chen, is exactly why I believe your species will thrive among the stars. Now, shall we discuss the details of our cultural exchange program?" As they delved into the logistics of introducing humanity to a galactic community, Sarah couldn't help but feel a surge of pride. Whatever lay ahead, Earth was no longer alone in the cosmos. And if there was one thing humans excelled at, it was adapting to the unexpected. The future, with all its uncertainties and possibilities, beckoned. And humanity, represented by this small crew orbiting their blue planet, was ready to answer the call. The exchange program. Dr. Amelia Zao stood at the base of the massive crystalline structure, her heart pounding with a mixture of excitement and trepidation. The alien spaceport loomed above her, its translucent spires stretching impossibly high into the violet sky of Sonora Prime, the Galactic Confederation's diplomatic hub. "Well," she muttered to herself, adjusting the strap of her duffel bag, "no turning back now." As if in response to her words, a shimmering portal materialized in the spaceport's seamless wall. A tall, willowy figure glided through, its pearlescent skin reflecting the ethereal light of Sonora's twin suns. "Greetings, Dr. Zao." The alien's melodious voice resonated directly in Amelia's mind. "I am Laertos, your liaison for the Human Integration Program. Welcome to Xenora Prime." Amelia straightened, trying to project confidence she didn't entirely feel. "Thank you, Laertos. I'm honored to be here as Earth's scientific representative." As they entered the spaceport, Amelia marveled at the diversity of life forms bustling around them. Creatures of every conceivable shape and size moved with purpose, some floating, others slithering, a few even facing in and out of visible existence. "This is overwhelming," Amelia admitted, her scientist's mind racing to categorize the myriad species. Laertos's skin rippled with understanding. Indeed, many new members find the Confederation's diversity challenging at first, but fear not, you'll adapt quickly. Humans are known for their resilience. They boarded a gravity tube, shooting upwards at dizzying speed. Amelia's stomach lurched, but she forced herself to focus on Laertos's briefing. Your first task will be to assist in our xenobiology department, the alien explained. We're particularly interested in human adaptive capabilities and your species' unique cognitive processes. Amelia nodded, her earlier nervousness giving way to excitement. I'm looking forward to it. Though I have to admit, I'm as curious about studying alien life as you are about humans. Laertos's skin flickered with amusement. Curiosity is a trait we value highly in the Confederation. It will serve you well here. As they exited the gravity tube, Amelia gasped. They stood in a vast chamber, its ceiling a perfect replica of the space above Sonora Prime. Holographic displays flickered throughout the room, showing star charts, complex equations, and biological diagrams that made Amelia's head spin. Welcome to the Nexus of Knowledge, Laertos announced proudly. This is where representatives from all Confederation species come to share information and collaborate on galactic-scale projects. Amelia's eyes widened as she took in the scene. Beings of all descriptions huddled around displays, engaged in animated discussions, or interfaced directly with the room's technology through methods she could barely comprehend. It's incredible, she breathed. And now, it is your workspace as well, Laertos said, guiding her to an empty console. This station has been calibrated for human physiology. You may begin your research immediately if you wish. Amelia's fingers itched to start exploring the wealth of knowledge at her fingertips, but a commotion near the center of the room caught her attention. A group of aliens had gathered around a holographic display, their agitation evident even to her untrained eye. What's going on over there? She asked Laertos. The alien's skin darkened slightly. Ah, that would be the Urgally delegation. They've been vocal in their opposition to humanity's inclusion in the Confederation. Amelia frowned. Opposition? On what grounds? Laertos hesitated before responding. The Urgally believe that humanity's history of conflict and environmental destruction makes them unsuitable for Confederation membership. They fear you may destabilize the delicate balance we've achieved. A surge of defensive pride welled up in Amelia. That's not fair. Yes, we've made mistakes, but we've also made incredible progress. We're not the same species we were even a century ago. I understand your frustration, Laertos said soothingly. But you must understand, the Urgallys' concerns are not entirely without merit. Many species have observed Earth's development with trepidation. Amelia's jaw set with determination. Then I'll just have to prove them wrong. We're more than our past mistakes. Humanity has so much to offer the Confederation if they'll just give us a chance. Laertos' skin brightened appreciatively. That's the spirit, Dr. Zao. Now, shall we begin your orientation? For the next several hours, Amelia immersed herself in the incredible technology of the Nexus. She learned to navigate the holographic interfaces, marveling at the depth and breadth of knowledge available at her fingertips. As she worked, she became aware of curious glances from the other beings in the room. Some seemed friendly, others wary, but all were clearly intrigued by the presence of a human in their midst. Towards the end of her first day, as Amelia was deep in concentration over a particularly fascinating xenobiology text, she felt a tap on her shoulder. She turned to find herself face to face, or rather, face to appendage, with a being that looked like a sentient cloud of shimmering particles. Greetings, Earth Dweller, a voice whispered in her mind. I am Zixvoon of the Nebulans. Might I inquire about a peculiarity of human biology that has puzzled our researchers? Amelia blinked, momentarily taken aback. Of course, she said, recovering quickly. I'd be happy to help if I can. The Nebulan's particles swirled excitedly. Excellent. We've observed that humans periodically enter a state of reduced consciousness, lying prone for extended periods. Is this a form of hibernation? A reset of neural pathways, perhaps? It took Amelia a moment to realize what Zixvoon was referring to. When she did, she couldn't help but laugh. Oh, you mean sleep? It's not hibernation exactly. It's a daily cycle that allows our bodies and minds to rest and recover. Zixvoon's particles pulsed with fascination. Daily? You require this sleep every rotation of your planet. How inefficient. How do you manage to get anything done? Amelia opened her mouth to defend the merits of sleep, but was interrupted by another alien, this one resembling a crystalline tree. Forget sleep, the newcomer chimed in, its voice resonating from its glassy branches. What I want to know is how humans tolerate being confined to a single, unchanging form. Don't you find it limiting? Before Amelia could formulate a response, more aliens joined the conversation, each with their own questions about human biology and behavior. She found herself at the center of an impromptu seminar, fielding inquiries that ranged from the scientific to the absurd. Do all humans have that fuzzy growth on their heads? Is it true that you communicate by expelling air through a hole in your face? How do you manage interstellar travel with such a short lifespan? As the questions flew, Amelia felt a shift in the room's atmosphere. The initial wariness was giving way to genuine curiosity and engagement. Even some of the Urgully, she noticed, had drifted closer to listen. Laitos, observing from a distance, felt a ripple of satisfaction across their skin. This, they realized, was exactly why the exchange program had been created. In explaining humanity to others, Dr. Zhao was also demonstrating some of her species' best qualities: adaptability, patience, and an eagerness to connect across vast differences. As the impromptu gathering grew, drawing in more diverse species, Laitos made a mental note to report this unexpected development to the Confederation Council. Perhaps, they mused, humanity's integration might proceed more smoothly than anyone had dared to hope. Amelia, for her part, felt a growing sense of purpose. She had come to Xenora Prime to learn, but she now realized she was also here to teach, to represent her species and challenge preconceptions. It was a daunting task, but as she looked around at the sea of alien faces and non-faces, all eager to learn about humanity, she knew she was exactly where she needed to be. The future of human-alien relations was unfolding right here, in this room, one question at a time. And Amelia was determined to make the most of every moment. The quantum empathy engine. Dr. Amelia Zhao stared at the pulsating orb floating before her, its surface a swirling maelstrom of colors and patterns that seemed to defy the laws of physics. She stood in a chamber deep within the bowels of the Xenora Prime Research Facility, surrounded by a diverse team of alien scientists. "You want me to do what now?" Amelia asked, her voice a mixture of excitement and apprehension. Laitos, her alien liaison, rippled with what Amelia had come to recognize as enthusiasm. "Interface with the quantum empathy engine, Dr. Zhao. It's a crucial step in fostering true understanding between species." Zixvoon, the Nebulan scientist, swirled excitedly. "The TUEE allows for direct experiential exchange. You'll be the first human to undergo the process." Amelia took a deep breath, steeling herself. "All right, what do I need to do?" A Urgully scientist, Krelvox, stepped forward. Despite their initial opposition to human involvement, the crystalline beings had become cautiously interested in Amelia's work. "Simply place your hand on the orb, human. The TUEE will do the rest." With a nod, Amelia reached out and touched the swirling sphere. Instantly, her world exploded into a cacophony of sensations. She felt her consciousness expand, fragmenting and reassembling in ways her human mind struggled to comprehend. She was everywhere and everywhere at once. She felt the vast coldness of space and the searing heat of a star's core. She experienced the joy of a nebulan's first coalescence and the crystal-sharp focus of Urgully thought patterns. But more than that, she felt the weight of histories not her own. The triumphs and tragedies of 1,000 alien civilizations washed over her. She understood, in that moment, the true depth of the Confederation's diversity and the monumental effort it took to maintain harmony among such vastly different beings. As quickly as it began, the experience ended. Amelia found herself on her knees, gasping for breath. The alien scientists crowded around her, their concern evident even across species barriers. "Dr. Zhao, are you all right?" Laitos' voice echoed in her mind. Amelia nodded weakly, struggling to her feet. I'm okay." That was intense. Krolvok's crystalline form vibrated with what might have been respect. "You handled it remarkably well for a first exposure. Many beings lose consciousness." As Amelia's head cleared, she realized something had fundamentally changed. The aliens around her no longer seemed quite so alien. She could sense the edges of their emotions, could almost understand the thought patterns behind their strange physiologies. "Is this normal?" she asked, gesturing vaguely at her head. Zixun's particles danced excitedly. "Oh yes. The HFY creates lasting neural pathways. You now have a base-level empathic connection to all Confederation species." Amelia's scientific mind raced with the implications. "This is incredible. But why didn't you tell me about this beforehand?" Laitos' skin rippled apologetically. "We found that anticipation can interfere with the bonding process. We needed your genuine, unfiltered reaction." Before Amelia could respond, an alarm blared through the facility. Red lights pulsed ominously, and a computerized voice announced something in a language Amelia didn't recognize. The alien scientists burst into a flurry of activity. Amelia, still reeling from her experience with the QEE, struggled to make sense of the chaos. "What's happening?" she shouted over the din. Krolvox turned to her, their crystalline face impossibly grave. "A void leech has breached the facility's defenses. If not contained, it could consume the entire planet's energy." Amelia's mind reeled. "A void leech? What is that?" Laitos answered as they rushed towards the exit. "An extradimensional parasite. It feeds on energy, any kind of energy, and it's virtually indestructible by conventional means." As they raced through the facility's winding corridors, Amelia's newly enhanced empathy picked up waves of fear and desperation from the beings around her. The situation was dire, that much was clear. They burst into a massive control room. Holographic displays showed a writhing, shadow-like entity moving through the facility, leaving darkness in its wake. Amelia watched in horror as it absorbed energy from everything it touched: lights, computers, even the life force of smaller creatures unfortunate enough to cross its path. "How do we stop it?" Amelia asked, her scientist's mind already racing for solutions. Zixvoon swirled anxiously. "That's the problem. Conventional weapons are useless. Energy-based attacks only make it stronger. Physical barriers slow it down, but it eventually consumes those too." Amelia frowned, watching the creature's movements on the screen. Something about its behavior tickled at her memory. It's like a virus," she muttered. "What?" Krolvox turned to her sharply. "The way it moves, the way it consumes. It's behaving like a virus invading a cell," Amelia explained, her excitement growing. "And if it's like a virus, maybe we can trick it like we trick viruses." Laitos' skin rippled with interest. "Explain, Dr. Zhao." Amelia's words tumbled out in a rush. "On Earth, we've developed virotherapy, using modified viruses to attack cancer cells. What if we could create an energy construct that looks like a rich food source to the void leech, but is actually a trap?" The alien scientists exchanged glances, their newfound connection to Amelia allowing them to grasp her idea quickly. "It's risky," Krelvox mused, "but it might just work. We need to generate an enormous amount of energy to make the bait attractive enough. And find a way to rapidly collapse that energy into a self-contained loop once the leech is inside," Zixvoon added. Laitos' skin pulsed with determination. We have no choice but to try. Dr. Zhao, your human perspective may have just saved us all. Let's get to work. What followed was a frenzy of activity unlike anything Amelia had ever experienced. She found herself at the heart of a multi-species scientific team, racing against time to implement her idea. Her newfound empathic abilities allowed her to collaborate seamlessly with her alien colleagues, bridging gaps in communication and understanding that would have taken years to overcome otherwise. As the Void Leech drew ever closer to the planet's core, Amelia and her team put the finishing touches on their trap. It was a massive sphere of pure energy, pulsing with an irresistible siren song to the interdimensional parasite. "It's now or never," Amelia said, her hand hovering over the activation switch. She could feel the anxiety and hope radiating from every being in the room. With a deep breath, she engaged the device. The trap sprang to life, its energy signature flaring like a beacon. On the monitors, they watched as the Void Leech changed course, drawn inexorably towards the bait. As it made contact, Amelia's finger hovered over the collapsed trigger. "Wait for it," she muttered, watching intently. "Wait for it. Now." She slammed her hand down on the trigger. The energy sphere imploded, taking the Void Leech with it. For a heart-stopping moment, nothing happened. Then, with a silent flash, the trap collapsed into a tiny, dense point of light before winking out of existence entirely. The control room erupted in a cacophony of alien cheers and expressions of relief. Amelia found herself at the center of a group hug that transcended species boundaries, her empathic senses overwhelmed by waves of joy and gratitude. As the celebration died down, Latos approached Amelia, their skin shimmering with pride. "Dr. Zhao, you've done more than save Xenora Prime today. You've proven, beyond any doubt, the value of humanity's inclusion in the Confederation." Amelia smiled, exhausted but elated. "I couldn't have done it without this team, without the QEE. This victory belongs to all of us." As news of their success spread throughout the facility, Amelia realized that something profound had shifted. The lingering doubts about humanity's place in the galactic community were fading, replaced by a growing appreciation for what Earth's unique perspective could offer. She had come to Xenora Prime to learn about alien life, but in the process, she had taught the Confederation something vital about humanity. Their adaptability, creativity, and willingness to collaborate in the face of unprecedented challenges were more than just admirable traits. They were essential to the future of intergalactic cooperation. As Amelia looked around at her alien colleagues, now friends, she felt a profound sense of belonging. The universe had just gotten a whole lot bigger, and humanity's role in it had never been clearer. The adventure, she realized, was only just beginning. The Consciousness Carnival. Amelia Zhao stood at the entrance of what could only be described as a psychedelic circus tent, if said tent were designed by Salvador Dali on a dimension-bending bender. The structure pulsed with colors that shouldn't exist, its entrance a swirling vortex that seemed to both invite and repel. "Welcome," Latos announced, their skin flickering with barely contained excitement, "to the Consciousness Carnival." Amelia blinked, trying to process the cacophony of sensory input. The what now? Zixvum swirled enthusiastically beside her. "It's the annual gathering of all sentient thought forms in the known universe. A celebration of cognition in all its varieties." "I see," Amelia said, not seeing it all. "And why exactly are we here?" Krelvok's crystalline form vibrated with what might have been amusement. "To represent humanity, of course. Your species has been granted observer status this year." Before Amelia could protest that she was hardly qualified to represent all of human consciousness, she was ushered through the vortex. The sensation was akin to being turned inside out, run through a kaleidoscope, and reassembled by a committee of quantum physicists with a sense of humor. When reality stabilized, or at least became marginally comprehensible, Amelia found herself in a vast space that defied Euclidean geometry. Beings of every conceivable form, and many inconceivable ones, milled about in what seemed to be a cosmic cocktail party. A creature that looked like a sentient aurora borealis floated by, engaged in heated debate with what appeared to be a talking black hole. In one corner, a group of crystalline entities were performing what might have been interpretive dance, their movements sending ripples through the fabric of space-time. "Is that Einstein?" Amelia gasped, spotting a familiar shock of white hair. Laitos rippled with amusement. "Ah, yes. The consciousness carnival exists outside normal space-time. Great thinkers from across history are frequent attendees." As if on cue, Einstein turned and waved cheerfully at Amelia before returning to his conversation with a being composed entirely of mathematical equations. "Dr. Zhao," a booming voice echoed in her mind. A massive, undulating form that resembled a technicolor amoeba approached. "So good of you to join us. I am the overseer of cognition. We've been so looking forward to adding human consciousness to our gathering." Amelia straightened, suddenly feeling the weight of representing her entire species. "It's an honor to be here," she managed, hoping she wasn't committing some dire faux pas. The overseer's form rippled with delight. "Excellent. Now we have a bit of a situation we hoped you might help with. You see, there's been a disagreement in the Paradigm Shift Pavilion." Before Amelia could ask for clarification, she found herself whisked away to another part of the impossible space. Here, two groups of entities were engaged in what could only be described as a metaphysical standoff. On one side were beings of pure light, their forms constantly shifting and evolving. On the other, creatures that seemed to be made of living shadow, their edges sharp and defined. The Luminites and the Umbrans, Laitos explained. They represent opposing philosophical viewpoints on the nature of consciousness itself. "And they're fighting?" Amelia asked, trying to make sense of the swirling energies between the two groups. Zixuan's particles danced anxiously. "Worse, they're stuck in a logical paradox. If it's not resolved, it could create a tear in the cognitive fabric of the universe." Amelia's mind reeled. She was a biologist, not a philosopher. How was she supposed to resolve an argument between beings of pure thought? But as she observed the conflict, something clicked. The Luminites' ever-changing forms, the Umbrans' rigid structures, it reminded her of the ongoing debate in neuroscience about the nature of consciousness. Taking a deep breath, Amelia stepped forward. "Excuse me," she called out, her voice somehow carrying across the conceptual battlefield. "Have you considered that you might both be right?" The combatants paused, their attention turning to the small human in their midst. Emboldened, Amelia continued. "In human neuroscience, we're still debating whether consciousness arises from the ever-changing connections between neurons or from the stable structures of the brain. But what if it's both? What if consciousness is an emergent property that requires both flexibility and stability?" A murmur rippled through the gathered entities. The Luminites and Umbrans regarded each other with new interest. "The human speaks wisdom," a voice like sunlight breaking through clouds announced. A Luminite stepped forward. "Perhaps we have been too rigid in our flexibility." "And we too flexible in our rigidity," an Umbran countered, its voice like velvet shadows. As Amelia watched in amazement, the two groups began to merge, creating a swirling dance of light and shadow that was breathtakingly beautiful. The paradox resolved, transforming into a new form of cognitive harmony. The overseer of cognition reappeared, its form practically vibrating with joy. "Magnificent. Dr. Zhao, you've not only prevented a disaster, but created a new school of universal thought." Amelia blushed, feeling overwhelmed. "I just applied a bit of human perspective. It was nothing special." On the contrary, Einstein's voice chimed in as he ambled over. "It was precisely your unique human viewpoint that was needed. The ability to bridge seemingly irreconcilable differences is a rare gift indeed." As word of Amelia's achievements spread through the consciousness carnival, she found herself at the center of attention. Entities from across the cosmos sought her out, eager to gain insight into the human perspective on consciousness and cognition. Amelia engaged in debates that stretched the limits of her understanding, discussed theories that made quantum physics seem simple, and even participated in a multi-dimensional game of charades that left her questioning the nature of reality itself. As the event began to wind down, insofar as a gathering outside of normal space-time could be said to wind down, Amelia found herself back with her alien colleagues. "Well," Laitos said, their skin shimmering with pride, "I'd say humanity's debut at the Consciousness Carnival was an unqualified success." Krolvox nodded, their crystalline form refracting the impossible colors around them. "Indeed, the Confederation will be most pleased with this development." Amelia smiled, feeling a profound sense of accomplishment. She had come to this event unsure of her role, but had ended up not just representing humanity, but showcasing the unique strengths of human cognition. As they prepared to leave, the overseer of cognition approached one last time. "Dr. Zao, we would be honored if you would consider becoming a permanent ambassador for human consciousness at future carnivals." Amelia's eyes widened. I'd be honored," she stammered, realizing the incredible opportunity this presented for both her personally and humanity as a whole. As they exited the mind-bending structure of the Consciousness Carnival, Amelia felt as though she had crossed a threshold. Humanity was no longer just a newcomer to the galactic stage. They were now recognized as valuable contributors to the grand tapestry of universal thought. The implications were staggering. This connection to the greatest minds in the cosmos could accelerate human development in ways she could barely imagine. And yet, it was the simple human ability to find middle ground, to see connections where others saw only division, that had proven most valuable. As Zenora Prime's twin suns set in a blaze of alien colors, Amelia looked to the stars with new eyes. The universe was vaster and more wondrous than she had ever dreamed, and humanity's journey of discovery was only just beginning. The synesthetic symphony. Amelia Zao stood before a colossal structure that defied description. It looked like a cross between a pipe organ, a supercollider, and a living coral reef, all wrapped in a shimmering force field that seemed to bend light and sound in impossible ways. "Welcome," Laitos announced, their skin pulsating with anticipation, to the harmonic nexus. Amelia's scientific mind struggled to process what she was seeing. What exactly am I looking at? Zixfum's particles danced excitedly. It's the most advanced musical instrument in the known universe, capable of producing sounds beyond the range of human hearing and colors, beyond your visible spectrum. Krolvox's crystalline form vibrated in a way that Amelia had come to recognize as enthusiasm. But it's more than just an instrument. It's a cosmic tuning fork, capable of aligning the fundamental frequencies of entire star systems. Amelia's eyes widened. "You're saying this thing can affect celestial bodies with music?" "Not just music," a new voice chimed in. A being that looked like a living constellation floated towards them. "I am Maestro Stellanova, curator of the harmonic nexus. What we create here is nothing less than the music of the spheres made manifest." Before Amelia could process this, alarms began blaring throughout the facility. The force field around the harmonic nexus flickered ominously. "What's happening?" Amelia shouted over the cacophony. Maestro Stellanova's stars pulsed with urgency. "A critical malfunction in the resonance matrix. If we don't stabilize it soon, the resulting discord could tear apart the fabric of space-time itself." Laitos turned to Amelia, their skin now a sickly shade of worry. "Dr. Zao, we need your help. Your unique human perspective might be our only hope." Amelia felt a surge of panic. "But I'm not a musician. I don't know the first thing about cosmic harmonics." Zixfun swirled reassuringly. "You don't need to. We need your human capacity for synesthesia, the ability to cross-link sensory perceptions." "But I don't have synesthesia," Amelia protested. Krolvox's voice cut through her doubt. "All humans have the potential for it. The harmonic nexus can amplify that ability. You just need to let go of your preconceptions about the separation of senses." With no time to argue, Amelia found herself ushered into a chamber at the heart of the harmonic nexus. As the door sealed behind her, she was engulfed in a sea of sound and light that defied comprehension. Colors became notes, sounds took on textures, and geometric shapes danced in time with a melody she felt rather than heard. It was overwhelming, beautiful, and terrifying all at once. "Focus, Dr. Zhao." Maestro Stellanova's voice echoed in her mind. "Find the discord, see the sound that doesn't belong." Amelia closed her eyes, letting the synesthetic experience wash over her. Gradually, she began to make sense of the cosmic symphony surrounding her. There, amidst the harmonious swirl of sensory input, was a jarring note, a color that grated against her ears, a sound that left an acrid taste in her mouth. I think I found it," she called out, not sure if her voice was even audible in this strange space. "Excellent." The maestro's voice resonated. "Now you must correct it. Imagine the right note, the right color, the right taste. Make it fit the symphony." Amelia concentrated harder than she ever had in her life. In her mind, she shifted the discordant note, adjusting its frequency, its hue, its very essence, until it blended seamlessly with the cosmic melody. Suddenly, the cacophony around her resolved into the most beautiful music she had ever experienced. Colors danced in perfect harmony with sounds she couldn't quite hear, but somehow understood. She felt connected to something vast and incomprehensible, yet intimately familiar. As the chamber door opened, Amelia stumbled out, her senses reeling from the experience. Her alien colleagues rushed to support her. "You did it," Latos exclaimed, their skin a brilliant tapestry of joyous colors. "The harmonic nexus is stabilized." Maestro Stellanova floated before her, their stellar form twinkling with what might have been tears. "Dr. Zhao, you've done more than just save the nexus. You've added a new movement to the cosmic symphony." As Amelia's senses slowly returned to normal, she became aware of a subtle change. The world around her seemed more vibrant somehow, colors carrying hints of sound, textures suggesting tastes. "What's happening to me?" she asked, a mix of awe and trepidation in her voice. Zixfuan swirled excitedly. "The harmonic nexus has permanently enhanced your synesthetic abilities. You're perceiving a fuller spectrum of reality now." Krillvox nodded, their crystalline form refracting light in a way that suddenly reminded Amelia of a C-sharp minor chord. "This is a great honor, Dr. Zhao. You're the first human to be attuned to the music of the spheres." As the implications of what had happened sank in, Amelia felt a profound sense of change. She had come to the harmonic nexus as an observer, a scientist studying alien wonders. She was leaving as something more, a bridge between human perception and the fundamental harmonies of the cosmos. Maestro Stellanova approached, their stellar form pulsing with sullen joy. "Dr. Zhao, we would be honored if you would consider becoming Earth's first cosmic conductor. With your enhanced abilities, you could help attune your entire planet to the greater galactic harmony." Amelia's mind reeled at the prospect. The scientific implications alone were staggering, not to mention the potential for advancing human art, music, and perception. I would be honored," she said, her voice resonating with newfound harmonic overtones. As they left the harmonic nexus, Amelia found herself experiencing the universe in a whole new way. The twin suns of Sonora Prime weren't just bright, they sang a duet of warmth and light. The crystalline spires of the alien city hummed with complex harmonies that told the story of their creation. She realized that her journey of discovery was far from over. In fact, it was just beginning. With her new perception, she had the opportunity to bridge the gap between human understanding and the fundamental music of the cosmos. As night fell, painting the alien sky with a symphony of stars, Amelia looked up with new eyes and ears. The universe was singing to her, and she was finally able to hear its song. Her task now was to help humanity join the chorus, the quantum quilt of realities. Amelia Zhao found herself standing before what appeared to be an impossibly large loom, its threads composed of shimmering light that seemed to both exist and not exist simultaneously. The entire structure pulsed with an otherworldly energy, each vibration sending ripples through what Amelia could only describe as the fabric of reality itself. Dr. Zhao, Laertos said, their skin a kaleidoscope of awe and trepidation. Welcome to the probability pavilion. Zixvoon swirled anxiously. This is the nexus point of all possible realities in our sector of the multiverse. Extremely few beings have ever granted access. Krelvok's crystalline form refracted light in complex patterns that Amelia's enhanced senses interpreted as a mix of excitement and concern. The Confederation Council believes your unique perspective may be crucial in addressing a situation. Before Amelia could ask for clarification, a being that defied description approached. It seemed to exist in multiple states simultaneously, its form shifting between solid, liquid, gas, and stranger phases of matter with each passing moment. Greetings, Dr. Zhao of Earth. The being's voice resonated on multiple levels of reality. I am the weaver of worlds. We face a crisis of cosmic proportions, and you may be our last hope. Amelia's mind reeled. Me, Bapangesta, a human, the weaver interrupted, with a perspective uniquely suited to our dilemma. Observe. With a gesture that somehow occupied all possible points in space simultaneously, the weaver drew Amelia's attention to the great loom. As she watched, she saw entire universes birth and die in the blink of an eye, countless realities interweaving in a dance of infinite complexity. But there, in the midst of the cosmic tapestry, was a flaw, a knot of tangled probabilities that seemed to be growing, threatening to unravel the entire structure. The quantum quilt is fraying, the weaver explained. A paradox has formed at a critical juncture of realities. If not resolved, it could lead to the collapse of the entire multiverse. Amelia's scientific mind struggled to comprehend the scale of the problem. But how can I possibly help with something like this? Laertos stepped forward. Your human ability to think laterally, to find connections where others see only chaos, may be exactly what we need. Zixvoon added, and your experiences with the quantum empathy engine and the harmonic nexus have prepared you in ways we're only beginning to understand. The weaver nodded, the motion rippling through multiple dimensions. Indeed, Dr. Zhao, we need you to enter the quilt itself, navigate the paradox from within, and find a way to resolve it. Amelia's heart raced. Enter the quilt. You mean actually go into other realities? Yes, the weaver confirmed, but be warned, the experience will be unlike anything you've encountered before. The very laws of physics may change from moment to moment. Your sense of self may fragment across multiple versions of reality. Amelia took a deep breath, steeling herself. She thought of Earth, of humanity's place in the grand cosmic scheme. If she didn't do this, there might not be a universe left to explore. I'll do it, she said, her voice steadier than she felt. The weaver's form shimmered with what might have been approval. Then let us begin. What followed was an experience that defied description in any human language. Amelia found herself plunging into the quantum quilt, her consciousness splintering across countless realities. In one moment, she was a version of herself that had never left Earth, puzzling over a complex genetics problem in a lab. In the next, she was an Amelia who had been born on Mars, the first human to set foot on a world beyond the solar system. She experienced lives where she was a celebrated artist, a deep-sea explorer, a diplomat negotiating peace between warring alien species. Through it all, Amelia clung to her core self, the thread of her primary consciousness acting as an anchor in the sea of infinite possibilities. As she navigated the twisting pathways of the multiverse, she began to sense the paradox at its heart. It was a knot of contradictions, a place where mutually exclusive realities collided and tangled. Drawing on her experiences with the quantum empathy engine, Amelia reached out with her mind, trying to understand the conflicting narratives at play. She saw versions of Earth where history had taken radically different turns, worlds where the dinosaurs never went extinct, where humans had evolved from different ancestors, where alien civilizations had contacted Earth at various points in history. The paradox, she realized, stemmed from a fundamental question: what made humanity unique in the cosmic tapestry? In some realities, humans were the only sentient life in the universe. In others, they were latecomers to a galaxy teeming with ancient civilizations. Some versions of Earth had achieved utopia. Others had destroyed themselves in apocalyptic wars. Amelia's mind raced, searching for a common thread that could tie these disparate realities together. And then, drawing on her experience with the harmonic nexus, she had an epiphany. It wasn't about finding a single correct version of humanity. The beauty lay in the infinite variety, the endless potential for growth and change. With this realization, Amelia began to weave. Using her enhanced synesthetic abilities, she started to harmonize the discordant realities. She didn't try to eliminate the contradictions, but rather to find a way for them to coexist in dynamic tension. As she worked, Amelia felt the fabric of the multiverse shift around her. The tangled knot of the paradox began to loosen, transforming into a complex, beautiful pattern that enhanced rather than threatened the overall design of the quantum quilt. With a final, reality-shaking effort, Amelia brought the last threads into alignment. The paradox resolved itself in a burst of multidimensional energy that rippled across the entire multiverse. Amelia found herself back in the probability pavilion, gasping for breath. Her alien colleagues rushed to support her as she stumbled, her mind still reeling from the experience. The Weaver of Worlds approached, their form more stable now, but still defying easy description. "Dr. Zhao, you have done the impossible. The paradox is resolved, and the quantum quilt is stronger than ever." Lurtos's skin rippled with amazement. "How did you do it?" Amelia smiled weakly. "I realized that the paradox itself was the answer. Humanity's uniqueness lies in our infinite potential for diversity and change. By embracing that, we can find our place in any cosmic tapestry." Sixvoom swirled excitedly. "Remarkable. This insight could revolutionize our understanding of multiversal dynamics." Krelvox nodded, their crystalline form refracting light in patterns of deep respect. "You've not only saved the multiverse, Dr. Zhao. You've elevated humanity's status in ways we never imagined possible." The Weaver's voice resonated with solemn joy. "Indeed, Dr. Zhao, in recognition of your service, the Confederation hereby grants Earth full membership status. Moreover, we would like to offer you a position as humanity's first multiversal ambassador." Amelia's mind ogled at the implications. Full Confederation membership meant access to technologies and knowledge beyond humanity's wildest dreams. And the role of multiversal ambassador, the opportunities for exploration and discovery were literally infinite. As she looked out at the shimmering threads of the quantum quilt, each one representing a universe of possibilities, Amelia felt a profound sense of purpose. She had started this journey as a simple scientist, eager to learn about alien life. She was ending it as a bridge between humanity and the infinite wonders of the multiverse. "I accept," Amelia said, her voice resonating across multiple realities. "On behalf of Earth and all possible Earths, I accept." As the assembled beings celebrated this new chapter in cosmic history, Amelia's thoughts turned to home. She couldn't wait to share what she had learned, to help guide humanity into this new era of multiversal citizenship. The journey ahead would be challenging, filled with wonders and dangers beyond imagination. But as she gazed into the infinite tapestry of realities before her, Amelia Zhao knew one thing for certain: humanity's greatest adventure was just beginning.